I'm going to share 5 scientifically backed habits that separate people who age slowly from those who age rapidly. These aren't expensive treatments or exotic supplements. These are simple, daily practices that compound over time. But before we dive in, I need you to understand something crucial. It's not about looking younger for vanity. It's about your health span, your quality of life, your ability to play with your grandchildren, to travel, to live independently. Looking younger is simply the visible sign that your body is biologically younger on the inside. Let's get into it.
Have you ever met someone who told you they were 70 years old and you simply couldn't believe it? Their skin glows, they move with energy, their eyes are bright and clear. You think to yourself, they must have incredible genes. But here's what doctors won't tell you. Genetics only account for about 20 to 30% of how we age. The remaining 70 to 80%, that's completely in your control. I spent 6 months interviewing gerontologists, longevity researchers, and yes, people who genuinely look decades younger than their biological age. And what I discovered will change everything you thought you knew about aging. Stay with me, because number 4 is something you're probably doing wrong right now, and it's aging you faster than anything else.
Number 1, they prioritize protein, not carbs. Now, I know what you're thinking. I've been told to eat less as I age. That's one of the most dangerous myths in modern medicine. Here's what actually happens. After age 50, you enter a condition called sarcopenia, where you lose 3 to 8% of your muscle mass every decade. And muscle isn't just about strength. Muscle is your metabolic engine. It's what keeps your blood sugar stable, your bones strong, and your metabolism active. People who look young at 70 eat between 1.2 to 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight every single day. That's roughly 80 to 100 grams for most people. A landmark study from McMaster University found that older adults who consumed 30 grams of protein per meal rather than spreading it throughout the day in smaller amounts had significantly better muscle synthesis. But here's the key. They don't just eat protein, they eat it at every meal, especially breakfast. Because when you wake up, you've been fasting for 8 to 10 hours, and your body is in a catabolic state, breaking down muscle for energy. So what does this look like practically? Breakfast, 3 eggs with Greek yogurt. That's 35 grams right there. Lunch, a palm-sized piece of chicken or fish. Another 30 grams. Dinner, same thing, 30 grams. You're not eating less, you're eating smarter. And the people who look 50 at 70, they figured this out decades ago. Number 2, they move in a specific way. Now here's where it gets interesting. These people don't spend 2 hours at the gym. They don't run marathons. In fact, many of them never do traditional cardio. What they do is something called movement snacking, combined with one critical type of exercise. Movement snacking means they never sit for more than 45 minutes. Every hour, they're up. They're walking to get water. They're doing 10 squats. They're stretching. And the research on this is absolutely mind-blowing. A study published in the American Journal of Physiology found that breaking up sitting time with just 2 minutes of walking every hour improved insulin sensitivity by 30%. That's the difference between pre-diabetes and normal blood sugar, just from standing up. But here's the game changer. Twice a week, they do resistance training. Not just any exercise, resistance. Lifting weights, using resistance bands, doing body weight exercises like push-ups or squats. Why? Because after age 50, cardio alone will not prevent muscle loss. You need to put your muscles under load, create micro tears, and force them to rebuild stronger. A study from Penn State tracked over 30,000 older adults for 15 years. Those who did resistance training just twice a week hit a 46% lower risk of death from any cause compared to those who didn't. Let me say that again. 46% lower risk of death from lifting weights twice a week. The people who look young at 70 understood this instinctively. They might not call it resistance training, but they're carrying groceries, gardening, doing push-ups against the kitchen counter. They're keeping their muscles under tension. Number 3, they manage stress like it's a medical condition, because scientifically speaking, it is. Chronic stress literally shortens your telomeres. These are the protective caps on the end of your chromosomes, like the plastic tips on shoelaces. Every time your cells divide, telomeres get a little shorter. When they're too short, your cells can't divide anymore. That's aging at the cellular level. Dr. Elizabeth Blackburn won the Nobel Prize for her research on this. She found that chronic stress can age your cells by up to 17 years. Read that again, 17 years. But here's what's fascinating. People who look young at 70 don't necessarily have less stress in their lives. They've just learned to process it differently. They have what's called a stress reset button. For some, it's medication. For others, it's prayer or deep breathing or walking in nature. The specific practice doesn't matter. What matters is they do it daily, not when they're falling apart. Research from Harvard Medical School found that just 10 minutes of meditation per day reduced cortisol levels, the stress hormone, by up to 23%. And lower cortisol means less inflammation, better sleep, slower aging. But here's something even more powerful. These people have strong social connections. They have friends they see regularly. They have communities. Loneliness, according to research from Brigham Young University, is as damaging to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. The people who look 50 at 70 are never isolated. They've built lives rich with connection, and that might be their greatest anti-aging secret of all.
Number 4. They protect their sleep like it's sacred. This is the one most people get wrong. You might think, I'll sleep when I'm dead. But the irony is, not sleeping well is getting you there faster. During deep sleep, your body releases growth hormone, which repairs damaged cells, builds muscle, and strengthens your immune system. Without adequate deep sleep, you're literally not healing. A study from the University of California, Berkeley, found that just one night of poor sleep increased beta amyloid in the brain. That's the protein associated with Alzheimer's disease. But people who look 50 at 70 don't just sleep more, they sleep better. And they do 3 specific things. First, they're in bed at the same time every night. Your circadian rhythm is controlled by light and consistency. When you go to bed at random times, you confuse your internal clock. Second, they make their bedroom cold, between 65 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Why? Because your core body temperature needs to drop for you to enter deep sleep. And third, this is critical, they stop eating at least 3 hours before bed. When you eat late, your body is busy digesting instead of repairing. You might fall asleep, but you won't get that restorative deep sleep. Research from the Salk Institute found that limiting your eating window to 10 to 12 hours per day and finishing dinner early improved metabolic health markers across the board. The people who look 50 at 70 treat sleep like medicine, because it is.
Number 5. They stay mentally challenged. Your brain is like a muscle. Use it or lose it. And cognitive decline isn't inevitable, it's optional. People who look and act young at 70 are learning new things constantly. They're reading complex books, they're learning languages, they're playing musical instruments, they're doing puzzles, strategy games, anything that forces their brain to create new neural pathways. A landmark study called the ACTIVE trial followed older adults for 10 years. Those who engaged in cognitive training showed improvements in reasoning and processing speed that lasted for a decade. But here's what's even more interesting. The best cognitive exercise is learning something completely new, not something you're good at, something you're bad at, something that frustrates you. Because when you're struggling, your brain is building new connections. You're creating cognitive reserve, which is your brain's ability to improvise and find alternate ways of getting things done. People who look 50 at 70 embrace being beginners. They're humble, they're curious. They haven't stopped growing just because they've grown older. So there you have it. 5 things people who look 50 at 70 actually do. They prioritize protein at every meal. They move throughout the day and do resistance training twice a week. They manage stress with daily practices and strong social connections. They protect their sleep like it's medicine. And they keep their brains challenged with new learning. None of this is expensive. None of it requires special genetics. It just requires consistency and the decision that you're worth the effort. Because here's the truth. Aging is inevitable. But how you age, that's entirely up to you. If you found this valuable, subscribe to this channel. We're diving deep into longevity science, and I have so much more to share with you. Until next time, stay curious, stay healthy, and remember, it's never too late to start.